Are you and your family currently facing a deployment or long period of separation? You might be thinking, how am I going to do this with the kids? Well, sit back, grab yourself a cuppa as I share with you my 7 tips on surviving a deployment with children.
Nothing, avert my eye contact. Maybe we both got things that we didn't ask for. I'm still glad that we gave it a go. I'm glad we didn't put it on hold.
Hey guys, welcome back to another Cuppa with Keshi. I'm Keshi and this is my cuppa. It's actually a sugar-free V poured into a cup for aesthetic reasons. Today's video is related to my last video, 7 deployment survival tips. However, it's an extension for those who have children. So it's focused more on kids and a life with children. Enjoy! Tip number 1, use your village. We've all heard the saying, it takes a village to raise a child, and this is especially true when you're trying to raise that child or children on your own. Now, everyone's support village is different and looks different because their situation is different, their children are different. Your support network, your village, might be made up of close friends, family. You might have some really good babysitters that you trust. There might be, a local after-school care or daycare. My girls go to daycare 1 day a week, and this gives me the break that I need to be the best mother I can. At the start, I felt so bad about putting them in daycare, and then I realized what a positive difference it made. It gave me time to breathe. It gave me time to sit and have a hot coffee. It gave me time to catch up on those chores. I can mop and know that the floor is going to stay clean at least for a few hours. And it gives me time to fill up my cup. You can't pour into your children from an empty cup. Everyone fills their cup in different ways. Me personally, it might be meeting with a friend in a quiet cafe. It might be spending time reading my Bible. Just something that's going to fill you up, give you energy, something that encourages you. And you are important. And there's only so far that you can go on a single tank of gas. So it's so important to make sure you're stopping in and fueling up regularly so that you don't run yourself completely empty. Tip number 2, FaceTime. If and when it is possible, and especially if you have young children, FaceTime is amazing. It allows the child to feel connected with their other parent and allows the parent to feel connected with them. Calls are great, but especially if you have a young child who likes to point things out to dad or show daddy dance routines or whatever it might be, FaceTime makes it just that little bit easier for them to communicate. If you have young children, don't feel bad about sitting in on the conversations and being the translator. We've got to remember that our significant others aren't around. They don't see what our children do day to day. They don't know their favourite song, the books they read that day, the new words in their vocabulary. Teddy has thanked me multiple times for translating Luna's conversations with him. It helps him actually be able to respond in the conversation. It helps him to actually be able to connect and understand what she's excited about. And to see the way that they talk to each other is just awesome. Seeing her sing to him and show him new dances, it's so much fun. It's so much fun to watch. If you have older kids, they might want their privacy. But I'm sure they'll tell you if they want to have a private chat with dad, and you just work out a way that works for you. You might say, okay, off you go, you've got 5 minutes, and then you've got to pass the phone on. But yes, FaceTime is an amazing tool, and if you have access to it, or any video chat kind of app, please, I encourage you so much to utilize that. Tip 3. Videos, photos, and voice messages are all so important and such a key part of keeping your significant other connected with what's going on at home. You might feel a bit sad, and I know I did at first feel sad for how much Teddy was missing out on, and I felt like sending him photos was just rubbing it in. After a few trips, I realised he was far more disconnected when he got home on the times when I hadn't spammed him with photos and sent him lots of videos than the times that I had. And I understand this to be because they're leaving small children and they're coming back to a completely different child. They're coming back to someone with different likes. They might have different vocabularies, different interests. And that's okay, children change, but we need to keep them up to date as the time progresses so that they're more aware of the change that's happening with their children. Voice messages are great. Luna and I will record a voice message saying good night, love you, talk to you soon to Daddy if he hasn't had the opportunity to talk to her that day. And we send that through, and it's part of our routine. It comforts her, it helps her know that, you know, Daddy is still very important even though he's not here. Tip 4. Be open with your children, but choose wisely what you share with them and keep it age appropriate. Luna knows that Daddy went on a big plane to work to go and help people. She's 2 years old, and that's enough information. I don't need to go into the specifics of what he's doing or, you know, where he is. I've pointed it out on a map to her, but kind of just straight over her head. But yeah, she knows that Daddy's at work and he's coming home. And that's pretty much all she needs to know. You need to know your child and their ability to understand. Oversharing with them might distress them, or it might go completely over their heads. It could just be a waste of your time. Children sometimes do come up with questions, especially around Anzac Day or Remembrance Day. When those questions come up, you've just got to face them. You've got to answer them to the best of your ability. One of my friends' children was asked at school if his dad killed people. He then came home and brought this question up with my friend, and she was pretty gobsmacked. But she sat down with him, they had a great love-filled conversation. They worked through that question together with love. Tip 5. Separation comforters. Over the last year, we've had a lot of troubles with separation anxiety for both my 1-year-old and 2-year-old, and for different reasons. My 1-year-old's going through that stage where separating from mummy is scary. It's different. She's come to the realization that we're two different people, and that's just a developmental leap that every child goes through. But my 2-year-old, she is especially attached to Teddy, and she loves him so much. When Teddy came home in September, she looked up at him and her eyes lit up. But he was only home for 10 days, and when he left, she really struggled. She would get up multiple times a night. She would get up multiple times a night, looking around the house, asking for Daddy. And it was hard, especially during those 2 weeks after he left. We did a lot of hugging. But I can't always be around to give the hugs. I can't always be there when they're feeling sad and lonely. So we have what we call daddy bears. And I'm going to put the picture here. I bought our daddy bears at the Australian War Memorial. We got little voice boxes from Build-A-Bear, and my husband recorded a message for each child on a little voice box, and I then sewed those into the foot of the child's bear. You don't need to go to those extents. We're a bit extra because we are millennials, and that's what we do. # millennial life. Luna had her Teddy for about a year before we got the voice boxes. So you don't need to do anything crazy like that. But the voice boxes are great, and it doesn't matter if the kids are pushing them 100 times a day, because it's not like an annoying jingle or anything like that. It's my husband's voice, and I learned to drown that out years ago. But there are companies who make daddy dolls and things like that, and a great company that I've seen a lot of is Wish You Were Here dolls. It's kind of a portrait of their significant parent, the significant person in their life, on a soft pillow, and that would be great for bedtime and whatever. When Luna was having bad separation, I asked if the daycare would be okay for me to drop her off with her daddy doll, and they said yes. I explained the situation and they totally understood it. And so that Wednesday I took Luna in. It was so hard, but I dropped her off and I got so much done that day. So I dropped her off with her daddy bear, and apparently she carried it around all day. And when the daycare teachers heard daddy bear talk, they all cried. It is super cute. So if you have littlies, and I think even older children would appreciate a bit of daddy when he's away. When he's home, we put the daddy bears away. But it's not like they go in a box in the attic, because he's not home long enough. So they usually just get chucked under my bed or put up on the shelf in my room. But the daddy bears do an amazing job at comforting both children when they're feeling alone. Tip 6, cry with them. I'm lucky at the moment that Aya is kind of happy and oblivious and doesn't quite understand what's going on. But Luna does. Luna knows that Daddy's gone. She knows that Daddy's not here. There's been many times during this deployment that she's come to me and she's just said, I'm a bit sad. There have been times where I've been a bit sad that day too. And so we've sat down and we've cuddled and we've just cried. I cry in front of my children so that they know that crying is okay. They know that being sad and upset and missing somebody, they know that that's okay. I don't want my children growing up to think sadness is a negative emotion, because it's not. It shows us just how much we love somebody, that we cry when they're gone, that it hurts inside when they leave. And so I do cry with my children. I do let them know that sadness is okay. I comfort them when they're crying, and I let them comfort me when I'm crying. I'm not saying that I spend all day crying. I like to. But it's okay to cry, and it's okay to let them see you cry, and it will help them know that crying is okay if you cry with them or in front of them. So that's tip 6, crying. Tip 7 is related to tip number 6. And that's, when you've done crying, show them that life goes on. Life continues. We can have a happy day, we can have a great day, we can go do things, we can explore, we can learn, we can grow, even though Daddy's not around. We can have fun even when Daddy's not here. And that's not going to make him sad. We need to let our children know that Daddy is going to be happy seeing that they are happy, knowing that they are happy. It makes Daddy happy knowing that we're doing okay. And we don't have to stay the same. We don't have to pretend to have the same likes when Daddy gets home. Life goes on. The world keeps turning, and we keep growing every day. I hope you enjoyed my 7 tips on surviving a deployment with children. I've been thinking about the possibility of doing a vlog video. So if you're interested in day-to-day life, or if there's any other topic that you might be interested in, please drop it in the comment section below. Otherwise, like, subscribe, and we'll see you next time for another Cuppa with Keshi.